Welcome to the St. William's podcast. We are Eva and Ella Jo, your hosts. This is our very first episode, and today we will talk with Parish Priest Father Nigel.
Father Nigel, welcome. Thanks for taking part.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
Can you please tell us about where you were born and grew up?
Yes, so I was born in Tanzania, in East Africa, in a place called Dar es Salaam. And my parents lived there. They were married there. My father was born there. But 6 years after I was born, I moved to Kuwait with my parents. And then I studied in North India and in Cyprus. And I went back and I lived in Kuwait and Dubai.
Did you come from a big family? Do you get to see them often?
I have a brother and two sisters, and I try to use my holiday time to go and see them. I haven't seen my brother for a couple of years, but I've seen my sisters and their families.
What are some of your fondest memories of attending primary school as a boy?
I think it was my friends and playing, but also the kindness of some of my teachers, because when I had difficulties in some of my subjects, I look at the kind teachers who were patient with me and helped me learn. So that would be one of my fond memories.
What did you like to do when you were at school? Did you have any hobbies?
Yes, I loved sport. So any sport I'd try to play, especially football. Over here they call it soccer, but I call it football. And most of my friends do. I enjoyed a bit of drama. I played field hockey and I played cricket and basketball.
What secondary school did you attend, and what were your favourite subjects?
I attended a school in the foothills of the Himalayas, and I studied there from, year 6 to year 12. English literature was my favorite subject. I enjoyed statistics, which was quite interesting to me. I think more of the English subjects were.
What did you do after school? Did you go to university, get a job, or become a priest?
All of them after university, believe it or not. So I went to university. I got a Bachelor of Business Administration in Communications and Marketing. Then I worked in a professional environment. So I was a news correspondent, a cameraman and a producer. And then after 14 years of working in news, I decided that I'd take some time off, and I did some social work before I decided to be a priest. And then I came to Australia to do my studies first and decide whether that's the direction I wanted to go, which brought me here. I was ordained in 2011.
Was that job dangerous? Where did you work?
So my job, I worked in news, and it was pretty dangerous because I was covering wars, and I would go into Kuwait and Iraq when there was a war going on. And yes, most of the people were leaving the country. I was going into the place to report on what was happening there.
What inspired you to become a priest? Was there a moment when you felt like God was speaking to you, or was it just a feeling you had?
A bit of both. I think as a young boy, I had this experience with Jesus, and it stayed in my heart. And it was always good. I always had faith, but I was distracted with many other things. And as I grew up, I think that relationship was getting stronger, and I was finding that it was so peaceful in living that relationship with God that it seemed natural that I'd move into priesthood.
How long have you been a priest? What was your first parish?
So I've been a priest for 12 and a half years, a little more than that. And St. William's here in Grovely was my first parish. And I worked as the associate pastor with Father Frank, who was here at that time.
What is the hardest part of being a priest?
I would say it is when I see people suffering, when they've lost a loved one, to try to bring comfort in those situations. that would probably be the hardest part because there's a lot of sadness.
What is the best thing about being a priest?
I think I'm joyful in having this wonderful relationship with God in Jesus. And so that puts everything in perspective. And so because that is strong, then it's what the Bible teaches us to love one another and all. I think when we live that, it's a really good feeling. And so you're happy, or I'm happy.
When did you arrive in Australia and what parish was that at?
So I first arrived here in 2006, and I was living in the Valley, Fortitude Valley, and I was doing my studies at ACU. So that would be my first parish, the Cathedral Parish. And the church I used to go to was St. Patrick's.
How long have you been the parish priest at St. William's?
7 years now. 7 years and 3 months.
What's the hardest part of being the parish priest here at St. William's apart from working with Mr. Fogarty?
Oh, that's really tough. So nothing can compare to that toughness, really. I really enjoy working with Mr. Fogarty, and I think a lot of administration work that I have to do. And it's all good and it's needed because it means safety for all that we have to do, but we make sure that we have everything in place.
We know that you love playing sport. What was your favorite sport as a child? Do you still play any sport now?
Yes, I do. I still play football, and I also play futsal, which is indoor soccer. I play a bit of tennis, getting keen on improving my skills in tennis, and I play table tennis. Occasionally, I might play badminton too. If there's a sport, I'd love to play it.
Do you have any teams that you love to support?
Yes, so in football, I support Manchester City. I lived in Abu Dhabi. They support the team. So that's one team that I support. I like to support players. So if good players that are playing, I'll watch them play. I like the Eagles in NFL. I'll support the Cowboys in NRL. Yeah, and people say, but why not the Broncos? But I was also parish priest in King of Roy in that area, and that's when my support for the Cowboys grew.
We know you love to travel. Where are your favorite places to travel to?
Oh, I've been to 62 different countries, so there are lots of places that are really good. I love Australia, so I want to travel more within Australia. I like Hungary and Austria, the Czech Republic, Cyprus was good, Ireland was excellent, Eritrea. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I like to see and experience people's culture, so I'll go to a place and it's really enjoyable just seeing something new.
Have you ever been in a tricky situation while traveling?
Yes, I have actually, and this was it last year or 2 years ago? I was in Georgia, and there was a huge demonstration. There were about 300,000 people who were demonstrating, and there was riot police and also tear gas, and that was the first time I experienced tear gas. But because I've been in news, it wasn't as scary. I know what you have to do to be safe in these situations. First thing is get away from all the trouble. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm interested to see what's happening too.
Can you share a time when you faced a significant challenge? How did you overcome it?
Yeah, I guess when I was in seminary, it was hard for me to learn Latin. And so I'd have to spend more time and effort, and then sometimes I'd get really frustrated and want to walk away, but I knew I had to learn it. So I just kept doing it over and over again, persevering it. And now I realize that so many words in English are Latin based, and so it's helped me. But if I had given up, well, I wouldn't understand as much as I do now.
What does resilience mean to you, and how has it played a role in your journey?
Resilience is the act of of having a goal and planning to get there. And of course, there'll be things that will come your way to prevent you from doing that, but to stay focused, to evaluate what you're doing, take away the things that are not helping you, do better at the things that you can do better with, and just go on that journey, not to be discouraged. Just move forward, because the goal that you're aiming for is something good, and it means you have to push forward.
Have you ever had a moment where you felt like giving up? How did you push through it?
Oh yes, lots of times, because the easy way is to give up. But I have to keep the goal in mind and what's the bigger picture. I'll give you a story. I was going to the border and I needed to get footage over there, but there's a war situation going on. And so I was scared, and I was saying, oh, well, the world needs to know what the situation is at this moment, and I'm one of the only people who can tell them about it, and that's my job to do it. But it is a bit scary. And so what I did was I got another colleague of mine, or friend in the same business, and we decided to do it together. But we overcame our fear and we went, and we helped one another in that. So sometimes you'll have people that would help you to move forward, and we were able to get the story that we wanted. But it was scary, and we wanted to stop at various times, but we encouraged each other to go on.
How do you balance pursuing your goals with caring for yourself and maintaining a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, I think I have to do a lot more on that. Because part of my life is I like to help people. And sometimes it can affect me. So it's making sure that I take the right breaks at the right time. And that I find things like my sport, my friends, that actually help me recharge.
Looking back, what's one piece of advice you wish you could give your younger self?
Life is not that hard. Work hard, but also enjoy what you have in front of you.
Thank you, Father Nigel, for taking part in St. William's first podcast. It's been great talking with you and hearing about your life's journey.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this interview with you two.